Hello everybody, this is the Twins of Destruction. Today we're going to be doing a prop from the film we had recently uploaded, Adroitness of the Fowl. It will be linked down below, and we hope you enjoy. To start off this creation, you're going to take some PVC pipe. The thickness I used was about an inch. You can go an inch, inch and a quarter. If you want it really thin, like a bow staff type weapon, you can even go thinner, but that's up to you. They come in 10-foot lengths. So I had it cut almost in half, more on the longer side, so it sat above my head. You're then going to have to sand off the numbers and letters on the pipe, as well as get a grippy surface. You can use sandpaper for this. It would take a lot longer. I ended up using a Dremel tool with a sanding bit. Then, if you wanted to do some sort of customizing on the tip to make it wavy like seen in the film, what you're going to do is mark off where you want that to go. So I made a line roughly 1 foot before the tip of the staff. I'm then going to make markings on the top of the staff first, splitting it in half to make a T, and then splitting those in half to make more dots, and then adjusting them where needed, and then leaving those 3 lines, and then taking those lines and drawing all the way down back to the original line we drew. This will create the Y shape that you will then cut with a Dremel tool or hacksaw. When using a Dremel tool, you must use safety equipment, especially with a Dremel, and when you're cutting pipe, it gives off fumes when it's heated and is not good for your lungs. You should also use eye safety equipment, because when you're cutting pipe, things go awry and things fly and get all over the place, especially if your bit breaks. If you're using a metal bit, I hope it doesn't break because that'll be dangerous. Just always be careful when using Dremel tools. Carefully cut along the line and don't keep your hand as close to the blade as mine is. After you cut your slits, you're going to be using a heat gun to bend those prongs, because now they're like, it's like a hunting tool. If you've ever seen those survival shows, you're going to bend them in any way you see fit, but it takes a while to get the prongs to heat up like noodles. They're going to flop around like a noodle, and you might need to do it multiple times. So as you're adjusting one prong, you reheat the other one, and then you adjust that one, and then you reheat it, and then you reheat the top and then the bottom. It's like a combination of a bunch of things to get the right shape and exactly what you need. I recommend that you wear thick gloves for this, because you are touching something that is very hot, and especially when you're molding it with your hands, you're going to be touching directly onto the hot surface. After some finagling, I got the staff to where I wanted it. You can always go back in later and reheat it and adjust it if things don't fit, because the next step I'm going to be doing is actually taking these two acrylic lawn ornaments. I'm not even sure where they came from, and I'm going to be gluing them back to back like this. I will then drill a hole on each side of them and put a rod in between and glue that in place so they are secure, and when I glue them inside the staff they won't fall off. I ended up using a clear rod as the orange could be seen right through the acrylic. Now, because the top is finally formed, we need to get inside of the space, much like we did on the outside with our sandpaper and or Dremel, and we need to rough up the inside because it is way too smooth. This is also a chance to use a Dremel cutting tool and round off the top so it's conforming with the shape rather than just a bunch of squares hitting against each other. This will also help when you use glue. The glue I used was PVC glue, which you can get at Home Depot. You must wear a respirator when using this, and I'd wear gloves and a mask as well, because this stuff gets everywhere if you're not careful. I used a variety of clamps to put this together. I ended up having to do like 2 at a time, so there's 3 prongs. I had to do 2 and then come back the next day and then do the 3rd one, because using 3 all at once just wasn't working. You have to be patient when you're doing this and take your time and it'll come out great. One of the last steps of this staff is optional, but I ended up using Bondo body filler to fill the cracks at the top. Some might say that this step was useless, but I felt that it was somewhat necessary to lessen the seams on the top. Unless that's what you want, then just let it go. To use Bondo, you put the biggest container liquid down first, then you take the smaller container and you draw a line straight across it. That is a rough estimate of how much to use per liquid amount. Sometimes it takes a couple to get used to, because the more of the smaller case you have, the faster it will dry and the less working time you have. So it's kind of tricky to get used to it, but always work little amounts. To finish off the staff, I ended up using a wood stain color as well as capping off the bottom. The whole thing was wood stain from top to bottom, and the acrylic beads were glued in with multiple layers of super glue and contact cement as a means of holding it in, and this thing hasn't budged since, so it seems to be working. This was the staff in full. I really hope you guys appreciate what we have done, and if you haven't, go see the Adroitness of the Fowl film. It will be linked down below, as well as on my channel and social media pages. Really hope you guys enjoyed watching. If you did, please leave a like and comment what you thought down below. Please subscribe for more content. We will see you guys in the next video.